Hi guys, this is Web. Deku had OFA and has float and black whip quirk. And so go to Baz Bear's channel. His link will be in the description. With that out the way, I'll get into the story. So first, Nana Shimura will be Deku's grandmother, and he will get her quirk, and that would mean that his mom would have her quirk too, which wouldn't really matter because you know what? I'm gonna have her be the number 10 hero and Chris be the number 11 hero. And so Deku wants to be like All Might and her. And also Deku's dad will have Black Whip, which he will be related to the other One for All user. And so then his dad will go get some milk, and just like they always say, he never came back. So he'll get both quirks like Todoroki in a way. And so when he turned 4, people at the hospital trying to keep it under wrap, and they figure out he has both quirks by doing testing. And Ish says that he has a quirk like Nana Shimura in the sky, because I would believe they would keep dates of all quirks in the past. And so people are like freaking out because like used to be number 1 heroes probably just became the basic really strong. And so then the media hears that about the preschool he's going to, which will be like a school like Ida School, since his mother is a hero and she's rich basically. And so they all ask Deku how's it being the number 10 son and all that stuff. And so even All Might hears about it, and he thinks 2 One for All users quirks. And so he hears the sludge villain, and so then he's looking for him. Then he sees Izuku at the preschool protecting this kid with his fist up like he did original, using his master's quirk, and he hand the kid hand, and then they started floating, and then he grabbed Bakugo with Black Whip, holding him in place, and Bakugo's trying to explode it, but he can't. And so Bakugo's screaming, "Let me go!" And then when Izuku's walking home, All Might says, "Kid." And then says, no, before that he says, "I am here." And then Izuku starts fanboying. And this is before his injury, I presume. And so, well, maybe. And so then Izuku fanboys because he's 6-year-old, so it's even more. And he's like wearing an All Might suit too. And All Might smiles. And then All Might says, "You want to train with me to get one for all?" And Izuku says, yeah. And so when in like 2 years he gets one for all at 80 years old. And he masters Taekwondo, Karate, mixed martial arts. Then he trains with one for all training. And so then All Might shows him Gran Torino and all of his friends. He even he goes on like a business trip and brings Izuku with him, asking his mother, of course, can. And she's like, "Of course, All Might." And so they train with Gran Torino. Then he learns full cowling. Then he trains till he's 14. And so he gets 45% full cowling and 50% smashes. And he has made Ohio Smash. Like, what does Ohio Smash known for? This floods, of course, or tornadoes. So he can spin like a tornado and throw a person up. And it can make a sky change like All Might's Detroit Smash. And so he also has Black Whip, which is really good for capturing people. He's like Aizawa with his scarf, but 2 times better. And his float quirk is really good. And so, also, I think she had this, but he can make the ground float too. And so then he goes to school that day, and the teacher says, "Here's your test papers." "No, what the heck? You guys all want to go to the hero track." And everybody starts cheering and cheering. And then Bakugo says, "Don't lug me with this low-life losers. They're probably going to be a sidekick for this low-level hero." And everybody starts getting mad at Bakugo. And then the teacher says, "Oh, Midoriya, you want to go to UA too?" And everybody thinks he will. Because, listen, Midoriya is stronger than Bakugo, and Bakugo always challenges him. He went. And so Bakugo hates Izuku even more. Not because he has a quirk. It's because he is basically stronger than him, because he always pulls out his stupid black whip quirk and it just freezes him in place, and he just is angry. And I know you saw in the manga, it says that he can't control it, but he had it since he was born. So of course he's going to control it. And so now it's a 10-month training arc. And so it's mostly the same, but Izuku knows how to use float with black whip and one for all. So he can be like Superman with his fist up and still use float. And he can also be like Momoshiki. But he can't make mountain leveling attack speed thrown at you. And so he gets 55% full cowling and 60% smashes. And so he goes to UA's entrance exam. And he aces the first part because he is Izuku. Izuku is known for being strong. And so Bakugo also sits by Deku's and says, "Get out of my way or I'll roast you to death." And I'm gonna reverse back a few parts, and when Deku falls, by getting chipped by Bakugo, he talks to Uraraka, exchanging names, and then they leave for their robot part. Time to get back to robot. And then Ida says, "Stop interrupting the teacher," when he was explaining it. And Deku says, "How about you stop talking and with your robot voice?" And then Ida gets so mad. And so then Deku just smiles, and Ida mutters under his breath. And so he uses 25% full cowling, getting past Ida, destroying all the robots. I mean, all of them. And so then he is just doing Detroit smashes. He's flicking people. He's usually flicking, like he's literally just up in the air, just flicking. And so he's like, right now, he's like, what it shows in that photo, all the one falls around his body, and his hair's just up in the air like that. And he's also using black whip to just get people and then fling them, not people, robots. And then he also starts using float, so he's using it in combination with his black whip, so it's more effective because he's in the air, so he can grab as much robots as possible and destroy them. So he's racking up tons of points, really tons of points. And then it's the one robot, and he was about to fling off with his black whip, but then Uraraka says, "Help, help, somebody, I'm stuck." And so then Deku uses 45% going over, and then he says, "Go back. I got this." And then like he does what Nana did when she fought One for All, but he doesn't die. And so then he's just making the ground just like shake. Then he lifts off with his float, and then he makes the black whip just go around the robot. making the robot just freeze in place. And then he says, one for all, 60%. And he can do a 60% smash. And then he does Ohio smash. And like, how's he doing that? He can't lift up the robot. I know, he goes in circles around, like he's going so fast, he goes around the robot, making the robot lift up, and then he then he does a Detroit smash, smashing through the robot, making the robot demolish. And so then he lands down on his feet, kind of drained because he just used 260% smashes. And so he gets a little pill or something by the lady, and then he's off, and then he goes to Araka and says, did you like it? And she says, yeah. And then he asks, wanna go on a date after this on like Friday? And she says, yeah, I like that. And so they go on 3 dates after now being officially girlfriend and boyfriend. And so then Deku gets his UA letter saying that he got 135 points with, you can do the math, I don't feel like it. And so then he, I'll tell you, he has 90 villain points, 45 hero points. And so then Bakugo sees that he didn't get first place. And Deku's like, he smiles. And when All Might saying, young Midoriya, you got top of your class. And Izuku knows Bakugo probably got second. And so then he goes to UA. Bakugo's the first one to stop him. He says, hey, Deku, why'd you get over me? You know I'm supposed to be over you. Late bloomer, because he was a late bloomer, people presumed. But he just couldn't control it, and he knew that, so he didn't want to use his quirk. So the class thought he was quirkless because his quirks are going to be unstable at first. Like Nana's quirk, it's a strong quirk, but it's hard to control probably. And Black Whip, as you saw, it's hard to control. And so that's what happens. And so then he goes to UA, and Aizawa says, you guys took 8 seconds. That's not appropriate or something. And then he says, we're going to do a hero assessment test. Then Araka says, what about orientation? He says, UA does not have to do what the rest schools does. This is a hero school, and we don't slow around. And so they go in. Mr. Zara says, Izuku Midoriya, how far can you throw a softball at school? He says, 100 meters, and Bakugo just scoffs because he only got 63. And so then he says, use it with your quirk. And then he does Ohio Smash. And like I said, it goes on like a tornado, and then it smashes through the ground. And so it increases the air pressure, increases everything, getting 2,000 meters, and the whole class are like amazed. Like, it looked so cool, and it went so far. It could have killed a person probably. And so then Bakugo says, how'd you get that strong, Deku? And then he gets ready, but Aizawa stops both of them. And so then everybody, like Kiroshima's like, oh, this is fun. And then Aizawa says, oh, this is fun. Then whoever gets last place gets expelled. And Araka says, that's not fair. And then he says, and natural disasters are. And then they continue. Deku beats Ida in the race, getting second place behind Momo Yazurozu. And so get 10 likes and you'll see another part of the new feature, and there will be another part today at later moment. Okay, so you guys go to Bazberry's channel. His link will also be in the description again, and so please like and subscribe. Let's try to get to 500 in like a couple weeks, since we just hit 310. Oh my gosh, my channel's growing so fast. Social Blade says that we'll get to 1K in 2 months. Let's try to get it in 1 month. I hope we can, and I really want to get monetized, and so I will bring out more content, and I will be changing the schedule. I will post it either next week or later this week, because I have a lot of stuff to do during the summer, and I can't post every day like I have been during quarantine. I'm sorry about that, but I hope you guys still like my content, because I will be maximizing how good my content will be though. So I hope you guys still like my vids, and so please like and subscribe. See you later.